Hi everyone, I'm Fake Life, and it's time for the Season 1 Week 2 update for the Mister Hadwick Championship Invitational. So, to recap the games from earlier in this week, we had Six-Legged Spiders Dark Elves tying 0-0 against Gilkey's Humans. We saw Eurotal One's Dwarves lose 2-0 to a Sad Panda's Amazons. Yes, Amazons can beat Dwarves, it does happen. Saw Heavy Weapons Gentlemen's Orcs tie Aki Thump's Corn Demons 1-1. And we saw Tortas Dwarves lose 1-2 to Walrus's Orcs. So, taking a look at the rankings, we've got Walrus, a Sad Panda, and Eki Thump at 4 points. We've got Torta at 3, Heavy Weapons Gentleman and Gilkey at 2, Six-Legged Spider at 1, and Eurotal 1 at 0. So this is all great news to me because there's nobody running away with this. Nobody has even managed to win their first 2 games. So the guys in the lead have only 4 points, which means there's a lot of time for crazy stuff to happen, for people to move up and down the rankings, and it should be exciting. So let's take a look at the teams real quick. We'll start with Walrus's Orcs. Now, in his first game, Walrus lost one of his blitzers, which is, sad, bad times. But since then, he's gotten his MVPs in real good places, and all 3 of his remaining blitzers have levels. And 2 of them have guard, and 1 of them has 4 agility. So he's probably got the best skill ups of anyone in the tournament so far. He's definitely the one to look out for, I would say. Out of the people in the huge clump of people around 4 and 3 points, these skill ups are real nasty, and the fact that he's given guard to these guys makes it pretty obvious he just wants to push down the pitch. Normally, you might also consider skills for your orc blitzers like tackle, mighty blow, possibly. I mean, if you're rolling agility, you take it. But the fact that he's given guard to both of them really signifies he just wants to really slowly grind people down the pitch and have 2-die blocks constantly. So I think he's in a really good place. He's obviously in the lead, tied for the lead, and I think his team's set up really great. So let's look at Panda. So Panda beat Eurotal One, who's playing Dwarves, which is always a happy day for Amazons. I mean, if you get out of a dwarf match and you win it and you don't have any injuries, that's great. The downside is no level ups whatsoever. He's got 3 guys who all have 5 SPP. So we'll see what happens. He's doing good, but he really, really would like some skill ups at this point, I'm pretty sure. Next is Eki Thump's Heroes of Law, which is Corn Demons, tied for the lead in this league. That surprises me just a bit. His SPP is mostly going to the Pit Fighter Cultists, which isn't phenomenal, but he does have level ups on 2 of them. One of them's going to be out for the next game, and he's got a -1 movement. But him and another Pit Fighter Cultist both have block, which is nice. It helps with the fact that Frenzy can really screw things up and get you into some blocks you don't want to deal with. So block is great, and this guy who's got a -1 movement is probably just going to get thrown on the line over and over again until he, dies. So he's just going to serve a function there. He may keep him, he may not. I would consider keeping him and just throw him on the line every game. Other than that, he's going to want to look into getting another reroll. He's going to be able to very soon. That's 70k to get it. So I assume that would be his next purchase. He's got a lot of the big stuff here. He could get a Corn Herald as well. It'll be up to him. I just feel uncomfortable having only 2 rerolls at this point in the tournament. But he's piloting Corn to a tie for first place, so he obviously knows them better than I do. I have no luck with Corn, let me tell you. And next is Tortas Dwarves. And Tortas Dwarves have gotten 1 more level up, and you remember that dwarf runner that had pass? He now has accurate. And you can make fun of throwers on these teams that really shouldn't be throwing, like, oh, there's a bloodletter demon and he gave him pass. But once you give a guy both pass and accurate, I don't care what kind of, gag team he's on, or he's on a team that shouldn't be throwing. If he has pass and accurate, he can actually throw, and you have to respect that now. So, this is a dwarf team that can actually do some throws. I don't know who he's going to throw to. Maybe the other runner or a blitzer or something. I'm sure he'd love to roll an agility on someone, but we'll have to see what he does with his other skill ups, because, this runner at 3, this blitzer at 2, I don't know if he's going to want to make a pass target. It's really interesting to see. You don't normally expect dwarves to go passy at all, but this is absolutely a very passy dwarf. Other than that, everything seems to be going okay. He's won 1 game, he's lost 1 game, so he's absolutely still in the hunt. He's only 1 point off the lead. And next is Heavy Weapon Gentleman's Orc team, who have drawn both their games. And he has 1 skill up, which is guard on a blitzer. And that blitzer has 13 SPP, so he's 1 score away from 1 more level. Other than that, the SPP is pretty well spread. Got a lot of guys with 2. This one lineman has 3. So he's going to want to get some SPP on these guys. The Black Orcs are actually getting some SPP, which is nice. He absolutely wants Black Orcs to level up as best he can. And he's drawn his first couple of games. So we'll see what he manages to make of it. His team's doing fine. I would kind of put him in the middle of the road, and his ranking shows that. Next comes Gilkey's Humans, who are also 0, 2, and 0. He does have 1 skill up on his team, which is a blitzer with guard. Putting guard on blitzers is absolutely in vogue in this tournament. And his ogre is still sitting there at 5 SPP. Unfortunately, the ogre did not cause another injury, but if he does, that ogre has a chance of becoming a real scary player. He's got a lineman who's got to miss next game. That's not a huge worry. The only other thing that's kind of scary for this team, for Gilkey's team, is he's got 9 SPP on this blitzer, he's got 5 on this ogre, and then there's nothing. There's a whole lot of nothing here. So he's going to be able to get this ogre up to 2 pretty quickly, and then I assume so. I assume the ogre's going to injure someone, but after that, there's going to be a drought of levels. Unless he has a really good game and manages to pump a lot of SPP into his team. So I'm a little worried for his long-term prospects just because of the way the SPP are working out. But we'll see. He's kind of unfortunately ended up in a lot of real low-scoring games, which is no good. And next is Six-Legged Spiders Dark Elves, who have just the 1 guy with kick, same as last week. He got a MVP on a blitzer, which is real nice, because those are the stars of the team, without a doubt. And I assume he's going to take this 50k and buy an apothecary before Game 3 happens, because that's what I would do. He's already had to play this last game down 2 blitzers, and unsurprisingly, it didn't go so well for him. Or it was a draw, actually. That was against Gilkey. But he was down 2 blitzers for his Game 2. So I would absolutely pump this 50k into an apothecary right here, right now, go up to 1080 TV, and just keep going at it. Fortunately, the blitzers are relatively easy to level up compared to some other teams because they've got that 4 agility, so they can ball handle very easily. So we'll see if he can spread some SPP out, get some love. This blitzer's very close to a level. He'll want to do that. His runner's pretty low, so I doubt he's going to do any of the funky runner stuff, like have a dedicated dump-off guy or anything like that. But yeah, he is in 7th, but his team isn't badly damaged. He's just a little low on the SPP. And in last place is You're a Tall One's Dwarves. Not the team I would have originally picked to be in last place, but here it is. He lost to Amazons last week, which is... I didn't see the game, but that's embarrassing for the Dwarves. I don't know if he got diced or something really weird happened. I don't see any permanent injuries. So he's still fine, but he has 2 losses. Like I said, the guys at the top only have 4 points. He's not that far away from the top, but he's got some work to do. His SPP spread's pretty nice, though. He's got 2 guys with 5 and 1 guy with 4, so, some a real concerted effort might get some level ups in the near future. The blockers are a little bit harder because they need to injure someone. They're probably not going to ball handle. But, he's in good shape. Normally you expect the guys who are way down in last place in these tournaments to be just destroyed. But he's doing good. He's very healthy. Dwarves have high armor, that happens. He still has a chance. So let's take a look at the calendar for week 3 matchups. First things first, we got Six-Legged Spider versus Heavy Weapons Gentleman. This is Dark Elves versus Orcs, and I'm going to give you my predictions because it seems like something I should go ahead and do here. This is the one game I think is going to be really, really hard to predict. Neither team has a ton of SPP or anything like that. So I think it's going to come down to the injury dice. I would give a slight advantage to Heavy Weapon Gentleman's Orcs, but this is just about a toss-up. It could really go either way. The next game is Torta versus You're a Tall One. This is our dwarf mirror match of the tournament, and this will be the last mirror match of the tournament. This is pretty simple and straightforward to predict. It's a mirror match, and one guy has skill ups and the other guy doesn't. So I have to go with Torta to win this one. It's going to depend a whole lot on what he can actually do with that super passy runner, but it gives him advantage for sure. So I would give that one to Torta. Next is Walrus versus Gilkey, which is Orcs versus Humans. Gilkey's skill ups, he has one Blitzer with Guard, and Walrus, on the other hand, has 2 Blitzers with Guard and a Blitzer with plus Agility. So, because of the Guard advantage, just the skill advantage in general, and the strength advantage from the Black Orcs, I'm going to predict Walrus to win this one. Walrus is a good player, and he's got a lot of real nice skill ups. But, could go either way. If I was a betting man, I would put my money on Walrus. And finally is Eki Thump versus a Sad Panda. And this is 2 teams tied for first right now, so this is going to be a very important game. And both these teams are effectively fresh. Eki Thump has 1 Pit Fighter Cultist with block, and Panda has no skill ups. So we're dealing with 2 teams that are almost straight out of the box. And I would tend to give this one to Amazons just because Amazons are a better team than Corn Demons. But, Eki Thump's kind of been going to town with Corn Demons and doing well with them, so, I can't count him out at this point. Again, if I had to put money on it, I would put money on Panda's Amazons. And that is it for the wrap-up. We'll see how these next week games turn out. We'll be a little under halfway into the season by that point, and we should have a good idea of how the playoff picture might work out. Remember, the playoff is going to be the top 4 teams. So everyone still has a chance to get in. Everyone absolutely still has a shot. Nobody's eliminated yet. And that's all I got. So this is Fake Life. This has been the wrap-up for the Mister Hadwick Championship Invitational, Season 1, Week 2. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.